GM, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Monday morning, let's get it. I've got my green tea right here in the shitcoin mug, ready to go. So we're going to start with Bitcoin. And of course, we said yesterday, Bitcoin has pulled back. I was talking about potentially us making a low for the month of November in the first few days. Could it be that the low is already in? I think there is definitely some evidence to support that. We've obviously shared the last couple of days some analysis that has shown that on the previous halving, 3 halving cycle years, and obviously therefore election years, the November low came on either the 2nd or the 3rd of the month. We're now on the 4th, so we had this spike down yesterday, and what we really want to ask is that the low, or will we see further downside? And I think a lot of this will depend on what happens over the next few days. We've got a big week this week. We've obviously got economic data in terms of the Fed on Monday, interest rate decision, FOMC, November's decision, expected 25 BPS cut. So that's something to focus on. But obviously, there's no escaping it. It's all over X. It's everywhere right now. The US elections are, without a doubt, going to bring some volatility to this market. And I personally think whatever the outcome, Bitcoin will go higher over the next few months. However, in the short term, there is likely to be some volatility. So what I want to do is just go down to a 4-hour chart and take a look at obviously the price action. We can see Bitcoin, a little bit of a scare here, coming down below this descending trend line that we've drawn in, but it is popping back above. So caught some liquidity down here, bit of a bear trap, pop back up. Obviously, so there's some stuck longs here, but shorts will, if the price does pop up, shorts will probably get taken out. And I actually expect price to range a bit from here. So if we just look at the path that we'd drawn on, let's just make this a little bit easier to view. We can actually update this. I mean, these paths are completely dynamic. We haven't updated this in a few days since drawing, but obviously we've seen this down move play out. So really, that's the move that we've seen play out now. What I'm expecting from here is for price to probably consolidate between the 69K and 71K level. And therefore, we can just adjust this. So I'm sort of expecting this this consolidation now. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do a new one of these because, like I say, that is probably the right thing to do. So let's go with this. So what I'm expecting over the next day or two, really over the week, is for price to consolidate. This is not to timescale, by the way. So I think we'll be chopping in this range over the next couple of days until we get real outcome of the election result. Then I think if it's Trump, we likely go higher. If it's Harris, we likely come a bit lower first and consolidate before then eventually going higher. Remember, we've got FOMC on the Wednesday. So, of course, that is going to be something that the market turns to after the election result, but there's no guarantee we get the election result. So I think we're going to see volatility. I think things are going to be choppy, but ultimately, I do expect at some point this market maybe to sweep this low and then really to take off into the end of the month. So this would be my preferred path at the moment. Something like this, some sort of consolidation, some sort of move lower. Certainly, if Harris gets in, these moves might be a little bit more violent. So we might see the edges of this range get tested, some wicks to form as election data comes in, as results from different swing states come in, I expect we could see some increased volatility. This might not happen. This is one scenario. One scenario is we come down lower. The other scenario is Trump is elected, we move higher, maybe we come down for a retest of this range, and then we go higher. So it remains to be seen what happens. I think this is probably the safest play, to expect volatility both sides, but it really remains to be seen what happens in terms of the election result. But ultimately, this is the preferred path over the next week, I would say. And I think really by mid-month, I would be surprised if Bitcoin is not pushing up close to all-time highs. Certainly if Trump does win, then that could happen a lot sooner. But it's just important to, I think, stay a little bit patient, a little bit cautious over the next few days. Don't rush in, don't FOMO in. We said last week up here, there's no need to rush, there's no need to panic, okay? The market is unlikely to break to new all-time highs before the election result. This is something we talked about and mentioned time and time again on the channel. So there was no reason to FOMO buy here. Just be patient, take your time. There's probably going to be dips again, close to the 68K level that you can actually buy. If not, if Trump does win and we do come up and we rally higher and we make a new all-time high, there's almost certainly going to be some sort of pullback that you can buy into. So I think the lesson here is just don't chase this market. Let this market come to you. Bitcoin, I think, will do something like this. I would give a word of caution around altcoins, despite altcoins being pretty battered, pretty beaten up. They are probably going to underperform, or certainly underperform versus Bitcoin over the next couple of weeks. And I do expect over the next couple of weeks that Bitcoin dominance puts a top in somewhere above 60%. It could be up to 61, it could be up to 62. But I do think a top for Bitcoin dominance is coming in. And I've actually said, I think we could go as high as 62.79. So if I just zoom out on this chart, this is just a level that I had in previously in terms of a support and resistance level. Right now we're at the 618, but I do think we could wick through that. How high could we go? Could we get up to this 786? At the moment, that seems a pretty far way away, but anything can happen, right? I mean, since the summer, I mean, Bitcoin has pushed up another 11% in terms of dominance wise, and the market was going largely sideways and altcoins are bleeding. So can Bitcoin do another 9 to 10% dominance? It could do, but I think looking for sort of 62, 63% on the dominance, I will be starting to scale in and rotate a little bit more out of Bitcoin and into some more altcoins, based on the anticipation that altcoins are then about to go through their best months, their most explosive months, the banana zone, as Raoul Pal calls it. So this is something that we can look forward to over the next 6 months, I believe, is that altcoins will start to take off and start to pick up, not only against the US dollar, but also against Bitcoin. And with Bitcoin going up, this means we're going to see some really, really explosive moves in altcoins. So I think it's just a case of being a little bit more patient, not jumping into altcoins too soon, but I'm already accumulating. I'm waiting for dips. I'm waiting to see the price is come to me. I'm preferring to set limit orders as opposed to waking up and just saying, oh, everything's down again, let's buy some more. But I'm taking a DCA approach when it comes to altcoins. Bitcoin, I'm looking to get fully allocated. I am pretty much fully allocated. I've got some more orders in Bitcoin, just a little bit lower down, all the way down to 60K, just in case we see volatility coming down that low. But look, I mean, the market is doing what we expect it to do, right? Ahead of an election. We've seen this time and time again in post-halving years and election years where Bitcoin has pulled back just before the election and has then consolidated going into the election. And after the election is when we've seen Bitcoin break out. So we're completely on track here. And I think it's just a case really of staying well prepared and just keeping confident, having conviction in your positions right now, because things might get a little bit volatile and a bit dicey over the next few days. But ultimately, I do see Bitcoin resolving this range higher. And for sure, like I say, I really think by the end of November, Bitcoin is at new all-time highs. So I'm going to leave you with that. Hopefully you've enjoyed this stream. If you have done, please do smash a like, comment, let me know your thoughts. Do you think it's going to be Trump or Kamala? Do you think that Trump's going to be better for crypto, or is Kamala going to be better for crypto? I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear your views in terms of what tokens you're looking at, what coins you're bullish on. Please do use the comment sections for that. Also, please do follow me on X as well. The link is in the bio, and that is Crypto Trader Sai with 2 eyes. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. I will be back again, same time, same place tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. GM.